Alright, so here we are in Virginia City, Nevada. It's a town they say is too tough to die. So today what we're doing is we're walking around giving you guys the actual history of the town. We're going to show you different buildings. If Ryan zooms out, you guys get to see 6 Mile Canyon. This canyon right here you're looking through, you can actually see 100 miles. So the furthest peak of the mountain way out there is 100 miles that you guys can see. Ryan zooms over to the hill behind church over there. There's an actual gravesite that we're going to try to get up to today. There was a whore that got murdered by some dude, and then the town didn't want her to be buried in the actual cemetery, so they buried the whore over on this mountain. The bad thing is the guy that murdered her is now buried with her. So we're actually going to go try to find the whore's cemetery today, so I get some shots of that for you. Over to my left over here, you'll see the tailings of right where they were mining, but above that tailings is actually Virginia City Cemetery. We're going to take you guys over there today, and we're going to walk through the cemetery, show you where the actual undertaker took people inside of a crypt down there, locked them inside, closed the door, gassed them, and killed them. The cops showed up, they opened up the crypt, and there's 2 dead bodies of a newsman and also another guy. So the mountain straight out back, where you can see right where it's kind of bare with a little bit of snow and there's a road going up, that's actually the Jewish cemetery, Chinese cemetery out there. I don't know if we'll be able to get to that because the roads are being snowy and stuff. But we will take you to the actual Virginia City Cemetery, and then we'll take you over to Gold Hill Cemetery and show you guys the miner's cabin where 32 miners died in the Yellow Jacket mine back in 18 something. I can't remember the exact day, but there's 32 miners that the mine blew up and killed them all. So we'll take you over there. And I'm gonna send Ryan out to go walk downtown Virginia City and show you some buildings. We'll show you the Washoe Club that we investigated, not last night, but the night before. We'll get you some shots of Mackey's that we investigated in. Tonight we're staying at the Silver Queen. Ryan's in room 13, where supposedly there's some of my friendly stuff I really love a lot, but my TV viewers know I'm lying about it, orbs, because I hate orbs. I'm staying in room 11, where a hooker, or sorry, not a hooker, but a whore, actually slit her wrists, killed herself in my bathtub in the room I'm sleeping in, which is going to be awesome. We're going to be filming there tonight. Maybe she'll come through and talk. We're not really sure on the name. We got to re-ask because we heard 2 different names now on whores that stayed in that room that died. One was Rosie and the other one was like Lily or something. So we'll get the exact female's name that actually slit her wrist inside that bathtub. After room 11 and 13, we will be moving up to stay in room 17 and 18. The recent suicide inside the Silver Queen motel or hotel casino that I read about happened in 2010. It was a dude that was kind of, hell, how do I say it without being rude on camera, because I can't talk the way I normally talk. What would you call it? Mentally ill?
There you go.
Okay, we'll say mentally ill because there was something wrong with him. He lived with his mother, and his mother died in 2010, so he went and rented a room at Silver Queen and actually OD'd on a bunch of prescription pills, which I got all documented. I got it all from the actual news source and stuff. The guy did go in and commit suicide in one of the rooms up there, so we'll ask the owner if we can find out which room that guy committed suicide in and go inside, do some EVPs and stuff inside that room, hopefully, if she gives us permission, yes. Which she's been really friendly. She's letting us pretty much do what we want to do inside Silver Queen, investigation-wise. We're going to talk to another guy about taking us up to an actual mine, an open mine that we can go do a couple filming for up there, see if we can't get something out of one of the old mines. Yeah, and we're going to talk to the guy at the Virginia City trolley tour thing and see if he might let us be able to jump on his trolley and film the 20-minute ride around Virginia City history lessons for you guys. You guys get to see all the businesses he talks about and the happenings and when they were built. This part of town we're standing in right now is actually burnt down, so they rebuilt back in late 1800s, early 1900s. A crap ton of deaths in this town, from mining accidents to suicides to murders. Everybody's friendly. You go and talk to them, they tell you about all the crap that's happened in this town. These two big churches over there has been rebuilt. That big brick one we can go into, that's a Catholic church. The white or yellow, whatever the hell church you want to call that.
I think it's the Baptist church.
Yeah, it's built without nails. They actually, it's like a, what do you call that?
Wood nail or wood glue or wood nails?
Yeah, it's like a
liquid nails.
Log set. So they put them together and then they glue it. So that church actually has no nails in it. But if the guy on the trolley tour lets us join him, he'll talk about that church.
And also, another place to mention, if I can zoom in real quick. Way down yonder, that building there is a St. Mary Arts Center, which is also supposed to be super haunted. We're going to try to talk to those people or someone, see if maybe we can't get in there.
Yeah, so we even took time, went by Carson City to an actual whorehouse that is still a whorehouse today, where you can go rent a lady. But we got the history on that, and room 14 was haunted in there, so we went and actually talked to the owner of the Bunny Ranch, and pretty much we got turned down, saying no, he won't let us videotape in there because there's still sexual stuff going on inside that building that he didn't want us to record. But maybe on our way down to Carson City, we might stop by and do some filming of the outside of the Bunny Ranch. It's haunted. Yeah, so stay tuned. Like I said, I'm sending Ryan on his own to go walk town to shoot some videos, but that's after we get done talking to the trolley guy and see if we can get permission to take his trolley tour and get a history lesson for you guys. It should be an exciting day.
Beautiful day other than the snow on the ground.
Yeah, but hell, it's starting to melt since we've been here. We lost a lot of snow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping to get to the actual Welcome to Virginia City sign. We tried to get to it a couple days ago, and it was just like still a good 2.5 foot of snow, so we couldn't get out to it. So we're gonna see if it's actually starting to melt, since the last couple days have been nice and sunny. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll give you guys a tour of Virginia City.
Virginia City. Virginia City has a population just about 1,000 all year long. And an elevation is 6,200 feet above sea level, same as Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is 30 miles to the west as the crow flies, which is out on my left. Now when we get to the corner, if you look up to the left, the next street up, you're going to see Piper's Opera House up there. That's the third building standing in the city. The first two are burned down. That building's 130 years old, and some of the people that have played there are Lily Langtree, Lotta Crabtree, Sarah Bernhardt, Mark Twain, Aaron Booth, and Pat Logan, just to name a few. Now if you look to the left, you're going to see the Silver Queen. Inside the Silver Queen, there's a picture of her wearing her dress that has 3,261 real silver dollars in it. She also has a belt and $20 gold pieces, emblematic of the silver and gold that came from Virginia City. Virginia City got its name in 1859. There was a prospector here from the state of Virginia. His name was James Fenimore, but he was more commonly known as Old Virginia. Old Virginia was walking home one night, tripped and fell and broke the bottle of whiskey he was taking home with him. Several people gathered around to give him a bad time, not to be outfed by them. He jumped up and said, "I baptized this West Virginia town." Everybody laughed about it, but they actually kept the name. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see the Way It Was Museum. That is the best museum in town. It shows you exactly how everything was here in the 1800s for the miners and everybody else that lived here. It also shows you the equipment that the miners used to use to extract all that silver and gold. In 1849, there was a gold strike in California, and that started the migration of people coming from the east to the west. They would come out here by wagon train. One of the trails they used to use was the Carson Trail, which is 20 miles to the east down by right. They would let prospectors off down there, and they would come up here and prospect all around this area. They'd go over to the California gold fields to try and find their fortune. On June 8, 1859, two prospectors come up here, Patrick McLaughlin and Peter O'Reilly. They went above those houses over there on the left. They found a gold vein sticking out of the ground. They promptly called that the Ophir Mine. Henry Comstock was riding his horse around up here, and he went up there to see what was going on. As soon as he saw that gold, he told those two gentlemen they were prospecting on his 160-acre ranch. Well, they negotiated with Henry Comstock, and Henry Comstock decided all three should be equal partners. Then Henry Comstock went around telling everybody that he saw that he was the one that found the gold. So they start calling it the Comstock Lode. Years later, they found out Henry Comstock did not own anything up here, nor did he find anything up here. He was nothing more than a con man. People today still call it the Comstock Lode and still use the Comstock name. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see the Silver Cemetery. That is quite a cemetery. A lot of history in that cemetery. You are welcome to go out there. There's several different sections in that cemetery. You have a Catholic section, a Protestant section, a Knights of 50th section, an Oddfellows section, a Masonic section, a Miners section, a Railroader section, a Fireman section, and even an Irish section up there. Now, if you look to the left, you'll see that hill with all the grave sites on it. On the back side of that hill is the Chinese section. Down in the canyon, back a ways, is the Jewish section. Back in the 1860s, there was a red light district up here, and one of the most noted women of the time was a woman by the name of Julia Billette. Julia Billette was actually murdered in 1867 for her jewelry, her gold, and her furs. She was unable to be buried in that cemetery over there because the women of the time did not want her there. Now the firemen wanted her there, and they actually wanted her in their section. But the women of the time actually won out. She was buried over in the Pioneer Cemetery, way over on the other side of town, up against the mountain. Pretty obscure place to try and find her. Now, she was very well liked and had quite a funeral procession. She had a marching band, along with all the firemen in full regalia, 16 horse and carriages, and 1,000 miners to take her out to her final resting place. Now, getting back to the Ophir Mine with Comstock, O'Reilly, and McLaughlin, they start working that mine. They ran into a lot of gold, but they ran into twice as much blue clay. They didn't know what that blue clay was, and they hated it. Well, they get it stuck to the shovels, and they cursed it. They had piles of that blue clay out behind the mine. Several prospectors went up there and asked if they could take that blue clay and pave the main street with it. They were given the okay, so they went ahead and they paved the main street with it. There was some left over. One prospector scooped up what was left over, took it down to Nevada City, California, to the assay office. It assayed out at $900 to the ton for gold and $3,000 to the ton for silver. Now that's back when gold was selling for $20 an ounce and silver $1 an ounce. When that prospector finally got back up here and told everybody in town exactly what he found out about that blue clay, I'd be willing to bet that that street disappeared. Now that started the silver rush up here, and those three miners, they decided it was time for them to sell out. So they sold out for $54,000. Now that made them very, very rich people back in those days, and they thought they would stick around just to see how much that mine would actually produce. That mine ended up producing $20 million in gold and silver. Now one of the persons that bought into that mine was a gentleman by the name of George Hearst, and that was the start of the Hearst fortune. George Hearst was father to William Randolph Hearst, and later owned the Hearst newspaper in San Francisco. William Randolph Hearst is also the one that built Hearst Castle down in San Simeon, California. Now, if you look to the left, you'll see that flat area where all that equipment is parked. That was the end of the line for the B&T Railroad. The B&T Railroad was the Virginia and Truckee Railroad that ran from Carson City to Virginia City. They started in 1869 and ran right straight through to 1939. In 1872, it hooked on with the Central Pacific Line and ran from Carson City to Reno right up until 1950. The red building on the left was the depot for the B&T Railroad, which made between 30 and 45 trips a day. And by 1880, had 20 locomotives. On the right, this block here and the next block over is all the red light district. They used to have small little houses that faced the street where the women used to live and work. Those houses were so small they were called cribs. And you gentlemen see this house right here on the corner, the yellow house?
Yeah.
All right, if you take off the two bay windows in the front, the back end on the back and the top, that was the size of a crib. Get it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, now if you look to the left, you'll see a dirt pile down there with some snow on it. That was a mine tailing pile. That mine tailing pile came from the Virginia and California mines. Together, those two mines produced $130 million in gold and silver. In order for those miners to extract all that gold and silver out, they actually had to dig several tunnels underneath the street I'm driving on. They shored up with timber that came from Lake Tahoe. If you look to the left, you see that yellow building inside the glass enclosure is one of the locomotives that the B&T Railroad used to use. Now, if you look to the left, down the bottom of the hill, you're going to see a little brick building down there. That was St. Mary Louise's Hospital from 1875 to 1897. It was staffed by the Sisters of Charity. Today, it's an art museum that is open to the public. If you look to the right, you see that very impressive structure right there on the right. I just thought you'd like to know that's the back end of the parking lot. On the left, you'll see two churches. The first church is St. Paul's Episcopal Church. The other one is St. Mary's on the Mountain Catholic Church. Both churches were burnt to the ground in 1875 and quickly rebuilt. When they started rebuilding St. Mary's Catholic Church, they actually had to enlarge the church. It had a congregation of 4,000 people back then. The crosses on the steeple are gilded in gold that came from Virginia City. When they started working on St. Paul's Episcopal Church, they didn't use any nails in the framework. They used wooden pegs to hold the beams together. The doors are closed on St. Paul, so there's no self-guided tours. St. Mary's is open for self-guided tour, and they have a gift shop and a museum in there also. Some years ago, one of the priests took out the choir loft at St. Mary's Catholic Church and didn't know how much structural integrity it actually had for the building. There was a lot of structural damage that was repaired 9 years ago to the tune of $2.1 million. Now, as I make this right-hand turn, the building here on the left used to be the rectory for St. Mary's Catholic Church. It is now a private residence. Yellow building with brown trim. That used to be the ticket office for the passengers on the B&T Railroad. It is now the ticket office for the modern-day B&T Railroad. The modern-day B&T Railroad runs from Virginia City down to Gold Hill and back again. It's a 35-minute round trip tour, runs about once an hour. Unfortunately, that's closed for the winter. Ahead of me on the right, you're going to see a yellow boxcar. That used to be the ticket office. Up on the right, the next street up, you'll see a brick building with white balcony. That was John Mackey's mansion. John Mackey came into Virginia City in 1860 penniless, and he went to work in the mine. In 1874, found John Mackey still in the mine, but he owned the mine. He was bringing in $300,000 a month. He had three partners, James Fair, James Flood, and William O'Brien. They were known as the Silver Kings of the Bonanza firm. They made their money through the Bonanza years, which ran from 1873 to 1879. All four were multimillionaires, but John Mackey was the wealthiest and lived the longest. When he passed away in 1902 at the age of 71, he was worth $80 million back then. In 1926, John Mackey's granddaughter Ellen got married to Irving Berlin, the composer. John Mackey was instrumental in starting the School of Mines down at the University of Nevada, Reno. I gotta stop and pick up a local right here. This is Outlaw. He works there at the Comstock Gold Mill. Good morning.
Good morning, you all.
Doing great. How about yourself? Now, if you look to the left, you'll see the Comstock Gold Mill entrance. That's actually a stamp mill. The stamp mill is that corrugated building ahead of me on the left. Now, back in the 1870s, there was a lot of mines up here. Each mine had their own stamp mill. And what used to happen when miners had rocks that had either silver or gold embedded in the middle of the rocks, they would bring those rocks to the stamp mill. The stamp mill would then crush off the rock, take out the silver or the gold, smelt it down into ingots, then send it down to Carson City to the mint. If you look across the canyon, you'll see that gray building with that superstructure in front of it. That was a combination mine that was shut down in 1886. That has a shaft that runs down 3,261 feet. I'd like to call your attention back to the Silver Queen. She has that dress that has 3,261 real silver dollars in it. That was a tribute to those miners working down there in that 3,000 foot level. They were working in temperatures of 140 degrees Fahrenheit. This is all geothermal area. The deeper you go, the hotter it gets. Now, when they were working down there in that 3,000 foot level, they had to be hosed down while working. They could only work 10 minutes at a time. They go to the ice and cool down and go back to work. They worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, all by candlelight, for a whopping $4 a day. Miners elsewhere were only making $1 a day. There are 750 miles of mine tunnels on the Virginia city of Gold Hill, and they're all shored up with timber that came from Lake Tahoe. Mining is what put Virginia city of Gold Hill on the map. There is some mining that goes on in the area today, but not in Virginia City or Gold Hill. If you look to the left, you'll see the maintenance yard for the B&T Railroad. Coming up on the left down the gully is the Collar Mine. That's closed for the winter. When it's open, they have a walking tour down there. It's a 30-minute walking tour. The Collar Mine was the 5th largest producing mine in Virginia City. Over $17 million in gold and silver. Now, if you look to the left down in the building, you can see the Collar Mine. In 1875, there was 105 active mines up here. It was a very busy, very noisy place. If you were planning on spending the night in Virginia City, there are hotels, bed and breakfast that would accommodate you very well. The only thing you really have to watch out for is at midnight, there's a couple of ghosts that come out to try and tickle your toes. Ahead of you on the right, you're going to see two buildings. The red one with the gray roof, that's the Collar Mansion, built in 1861. The other one is the Fourth Ward School, built in 1875 to house 1,025 students from grades 1 through 12. It has 14 classrooms in there, 2 study halls, and the gymnasiums on the top floor. That's the first building west of the Mississippi that has a drinking fountain on every floor and central heat. That building was actually shut down in 1936.
And that's the Fourth Ward School, guys.
Because of open pit mining. Ahead of me, to the left is an open pit mine. You used to use steam engines over there, steam shovels, to dig out the mine right there. The students couldn't hear, that's why they closed down the school. In 1875, there was 25,000 people in Virginia City and 10,000 people in Gold Hill, a half mile behind us. There was 110 saloons in town, along with 50 dry goods stores, 35 hotels and rooming houses, 22 restaurants, 17 breweries, 6 churches, 6 schools, and 4 banks. It was a very lucrative time up here. Tiffany even had an outlet up here. Now, some of that money went down to San Francisco in the early years to help build San Francisco. And also after the 1906 earthquake. In 1879, President Grant came to Virginia City and thanked the people of Virginia City and Gold Hill for their contribution to the Union Army during the Civil War, and also for their contribution after the war for the Reconstruction. This building right here on the right, there's red top with the yellow bottom. That was the Savage Mansion. Savage was one of the principal miner owners back in the 1870s. It is now a private office building. But in 1879, President Grant stood on this top balcony right here to give the speech to the people of Virginia City and Gold Hill.
See the balcony right there.
Now, there was two miners in town that hated each other. One miner had a red house that he had built elsewhere in the city. The other miner had a white house that he was building over here. When the miner with the red house heard about his enemy building his house over here, he promptly bought the property right next door. Had his house moved, put it right on the property line. He said his enemy would never see the light of day, nor would he ever feel the cool summer breezes at night. And boy, did he do a good job. On the right, straight down the hill, take a look at the white and the red houses. They're only inches apart. They're actually called the spiked houses.
See how close it is. Holy cow.
Now this blue house right here is the Chapin House. That was built in 1862. That's one of the original rooming houses. That has 9 bedrooms in it. If you look to the right, you get a better overview of the Mackey Mansion. Up on the left, the next street up, you'll see 2 houses up there. The one closest to us is the carriage house for the castle. The second one is the castle. That castle was fashioned after a castle in Normandy, France. It was built in 1868. The furnishings came from France. It came by ship around Cape Horn into Sacramento, California, and brought up here by wagon train. That is a private residence, and it is closed to the public. Coming up on the left, you're going to see the First Presbyterian Church. The next 13 buildings on that side of the street, from the church down to the Ponderosa Saloon and Mine, are all that's left of the original downtown Virginia City buildings. On October 26, 1875, there was a fire in the rooming house 2 streets above us. It was a very windy day. The wind blew the hot embers all over the area. 8 hours later, 90% of Virginia City and 1,000 homes were burned to the ground. 3 men lost their lives in that fire. But it was during the Bonanza years, so they were able to rebuild the downtown area in 60 days. On the right is the Comstock Firemen's Museum. On the left is the Washoe Club. Up on the 2nd and 3rd floor was the Millionaires Club, established in 1875. You had to be a millionaire to join. By 1886, there had 102 millionaires in there. They now use the upstairs for ghost tours. You'll be able to see one of the old miners, one of the old millionaires up there. On the left, you'll see the Ponderosa Saloon and Mine. You walk in the saloon, up against the back wall is the mine. Coming up on the right, the last building down, next to the parking lots, the Territorial Enterprise. The first newspaper in Nevada in 1860. 1862, Samuel Clemens went to work there, and his name Mark Twain. Well, Mark Twain only lasted 21 months in Virginia City. He got into a fight with a gentleman and challenged him to a duel. Dueling was illegal, so they told Mark that if he would leave town, they would not prosecute him. So he left town in 1864, and it's a good thing, too. Mark was not a very good shot. Behind us on the left is the Delta Saloon. They have the suicide table all the way up against the back wall. They played the game of Pharaoh on that table. They have a plaque to tell you about the suicides and a plaque to tell you about the game of Pharaoh. There's several other plaques in that Delta Saloon. A lot of history in there. A lot of history in the bucket of blood. Now it got its name. There was a fight in there one night. The next morning when they threw out the mop water, it was blood red. Hence the name, bucket of blood. Now if you look up to the left, the next straight up, you'll see the courthouse built in 1876. It's still the courthouse today. This is the county seat for Story County. The angel of justice on the second floor is not blindfolded. She only has a single-edged sword, and her scales are tipped to one side. The miners like to believe that the scales would tip to their side. It's one of the few like that in the world. Thank you for coming on Virginia City Tours. I hope you enjoyed your tour.
All right, guys, so here we are walking around the town of Virginia City. Just got done taking the trolley tour, which you guys will be seeing. You could tell how bad it was here weather-wise. Look at those crazy icicles on that building. But right here, guys, we have the First Presbyterian Church. As you can see, as you can read, it was founded in 1862. This building here was built in 1866. And as you can see, it is a nice, tall, massive building. There's a nice, ornate stairway. And like the guy on the trolley said, this building actually survived the fire of the 1870s. So this is as it was in 1866. So walk down this nice boardwalk here, which there has been a boardwalk ever since the town was first done. Now they have replaced the boards over the years. As you can tell, these boards kind of look a little newer. So these are not the original boards from the 1870s. But imagine what you could find underneath of them, I bet you. Or what they found underneath of them. So this here wooden building, I know we're awfully close, but I'll try to kind of pan around. But this first building right here, with this red door, was actually an old attorney's office back in the 1860s. This building here also is original, as it, well, they might have done a little remodeling, but this building here did survive the original fire. As you can tell, some of the old style here. Now, this middle building right here, if we could take a look in, you can see my shadow. But in there, it's now an antique store, but it used to be an old mining office. Again, this one also survived the fire. Now, over here is now Primrose Lane Antiques, which also encompasses the last two buildings. But this one started out as a butcher shop. If you take a look, you can see some mighty tall doors. Really tall doors. But again, it also survived the original. Then you got, looks like Pop's Collectibles. Don't really know much about this, but I can tell you it also survived the original fire. As you can see, again, it's got some really tall doors, and they've got an old flag there in the window. Just another really cool old looking building here. Some old style soda bottles there in the window. And here we got a Sawdust Trails, another just really cool old style store, but this is also part of the section that survived the original fire. As you can see here by the signs, it's one of the oldest buildings in Virginia City, circa 1860. And you can tell the original doors. If you take a look, you can see just the old style. And another really cool thing, the iron shutters that would go over the doors for security. Just really cool. And right here, guys, we have the old Tahoe House Hotel. It was established in 1859. Holy cow, that was a long time ago. But you can take, again, see just the old original doors here. And again, you can see the iron shutters here. If we get up close though, take a peek inside, just look at that stairway. Imagine walking that thing multiple times a day. Imagine being a little intoxicated trying to walk that thing. That wouldn't be very fun. Again, more old buildings, old style doors here, and old windows. Lots of really tall doors. I wonder if they had giants back then. Everybody must have been giants. That's what I'm going to say. That's right, folks. Virginia City, home of the Giants. Doing all right? How you guys?
Good. Where are you guys from?
We're actually from Salem, Oregon.
Oh, where?
Salem, Oregon?
Oh, Salem. Okay. You guys are here for companies, ghost, paranormal.
Yeah, we're here doing 2 weeks of paranormal investigation and filming.
Cool. Cool.
So now we're just kind of taking everybody, our viewers, on a little walk of the old section of town and kind of showing them all the history and the old buildings.
Yeah. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of stories here for years. I've been here for 20 years. And you've been here for all your life.
Really? Do you guys mind if I film you what you talk
You
about?
know, I don't have a story myself.
Oh, you don't?
I don't know if you
Okay.
do. Because, but there are other people that have some great stories.
Awesome.
And I couldn't tell you one right now.
The biggest one I heard is a friend of mine. They lived in the Washoe Club. In the
Oh,
Valley.
really?
This was when we were little kids.
Wow.
He lived up in there, and he and his brother were terrified. They
Really?
were just absolutely terrified. They swore up and down.
Really?
And they had no reason. This was before any of the paranormal research or any of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
was in vogue. It was totally. He was terrified. He was chasing Bryce, and he to this day he tell you some stories about it. Another one that I know is the Spite Houses. Did you see the Spite Houses? You know where those are?
Oh, the red and white one that are like
Right up on
less
each
than
other.
a foot apart?
Yeah, one of the guys, Rob Dufresne, and his family lived in there, and they said that one, Rob just couldn't be there by himself. He was scared shitless.
Wow.
Constantly. And that was before any of this stuff was happening.
Years and years.
Years ago. We were kids. This was probably 1980 something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was terrified. And you can't fake that kind of terror.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was the Spite Houses over there?
Yeah, it was the one that was on this side. So if you're looking at the front of them, that's the one on the right hand side.
Awesome. Does anybody live there now, or?
I think, yeah,
Probably.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't Patrick move into one of those?
Maybe so.
I think a while back, like a year ago, I think he said he was moving into one of the Spite houses. I'm not sure which one.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
All right, you guys have fun.
Yeah.
The history of this building. Why it's painted like that.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. See if I can take a couple steps back and show you guys. But as you can see, it's brick and painted red. It's got some old balconies up here. What do you think? I mean,
I think it's part of the Chinatown, dude.
you know, it might be.
Just look at that stuff.
I like those little tiny mini balconies.
But you got a psychic person in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys see they do looks like palm cards, psychics. Guys, I think we're gonna take a quick break and walk inside and be back, guys. Maybe see if we can't find something out for you.
Hi, this is Finders Keepers in Virginia City, and we were told that we were a mercantile back in the day, but we've also been told that they've stored bodies in our back room. It's extremely cold back there because winters were so severe that people couldn't have a funeral during the spring or during the winter times. And we've had different incidences in here where things have been moved unexplainably, things have been broken. Nothing real malicious, but there's definitely a presence. We've had people go upstairs, come down with their hair standing on end, wondering what's up there, and they have to leave because it's uncomfortable. So you need to come check us out.
Thank you. All right, guys, we are back. So, again, we were just outside this Finders Keepers store, and we weren't sure what it was, and when we were talking outside, we did come to find out that actually it was a mercantile. And you guys saw the nice lady talking about it. And the bonus is she's actually going to let us come in for a couple hours and do a paranormal investigation here tomorrow night. So get you guys some of that footage. It'll be really awesome. Can't wait, especially with her talking about the claims of activity with the stuff falling off the shelves and stuff being moved. So be really cool. Be good and fun times for you guys. Oh, and we found out what these steel shutters are. They're actually for fire protection. Since this town had so much with the fires and everything, they had them installed way back in the day to shut them and hope that it would protect them from the fire. So, really cool, guys. So now we're just walking down again. I really don't know what this building is here. Doesn't really say anything on the outside. So, again, just not really sure. Here we have the Virginia City Post Office. Oh, actually, here we go. Here's a historical sign on this building. So it looks like it was a 62 building. Looks like 2 commercial spaces. Looks like a guy by the name of Moses Wertheimer, a German Jewish immigrant of a San Francisco cigar factory, was in the south half of the building. In 1868, it operated until the mid-90s, 1890s. Then the north half was a saloon from 1864 to 1900s. And then it was purchased in 1932 by George Puccinelli, who merged them and reopened it as the Old 62 Bar. So cool, there you go, guys. That's what that building was. So yep, like I said, this is just the old fire or post office here. Now across the way, that's why I was just going to speak to, was the old Story County Fire Department. You can see up top, it's got the bell. Looks like it says 1864. Completely made out of bricks, so I'd imagine it survived the fire as well. And like the guy on the tour was saying, there's the old Virginia Truckee railroad info. So right here, folks, is the old Washoe Club. Did an investigation here the other night. We'll actually be going back here in a few days with our friends. So super cool. Over here we've got where they do their mock Wild West shows. Can't see if I can't get, you can see the steeple of the church in the background. Sneak out here to the street real quick, see if I can't get a front shot of the old Washoe Club. So there you go, folks, 1862. As you can see, there's the front side. The underneath of it, it's got things and things and things. It's an old store. It's got some old time saloon photos. Across the way, you got another really cool, just old building. But yeah, really cool, guys. And here's the front sign right here, the old Washoe Club. Tells you it's the oldest saloon in Virginia City. And right here is a door that you actually go in to get up to the stairs that takes you to the Old Millionaires Club. Here's the front side. Gonna go ahead and take a quick break, guys, and be right back. See you soon. All right, guys, we're back. So we just left the Washoe Club. As you can see, the Millionaires Club. Washoe, established 1875 by the elite gentlemen of the Comstock. All right, guys. So just continue on walking down.
What are you doing?
Over here, we've got the old Ponderosa Saloon, which actually used to be the Bank of California back in the 1860s. And they actually have an old vault from 1864 that we've seen. And they actually have an underground mine that they do tours of. Donnie and I actually took it. See if we can't zoom in. You can actually see the old vault there. Really cool. So, yeah. Oh, matter of fact, here we go. Found an old historic plaque. Kind of hard to see, so can't see if maybe I can read it to you guys. So it says 1864 was a historic bank site. On this site, the Virginia City Agency of the Bank of California was established on September 6th, 1864. They helped the miners get the financing for their stuff. It says nearly 1 billion in gold and silver was mined from the hills, and much of it was passed through this doors to be stored in the vault. It also survived or financed other mining operations through Nevada and Gold Hill. Looks like Hamilton and White Pine. It says the Virginia City Agency, the last of the Nevada offices, was finally discontinued by the Bank of California on July 1st, 1917, after recording a permanent milestone in the history of the West. So the head office of the Bank of California is located, as it was, at 400 California Street in San Francisco. So really cool. Also, you can see a really old sign here that says, see if I can't zoom in, the Sharon House. Sorry guys. So it's a Sharon House. Even has an old sign here that says the Sharon House, dinners and cocktails, specializing in fine dining, live music. The entrance to the dining room was up there, no longer there, unfortunately. So now, here's another historical plaque about the Sharon House and William Sharon, 1822 to 1885. It looks like he was the one that managed the Bank of California during the Bonanza period, and he was known as the King of Comstock, and he was also the father of the Virginia Truckee Railroad and formed the Union Mill and Mining Company, and was actually a U.S. Senator in 1875. And it sounds like he wasn't a very well-liked person, but he was one of the major developers of the Comstock Lode that we heard more about in the trolley tour earlier. So again, just lots of really cool stuff. There's the old Virginia City Mercantile. Actually a really cool store. I call it a joke store because it's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. Here's the old, Virginia Visitor Center. But as you can tell, just a really old building that houses all kinds of different stuff. The Visitor Center, Red Guard, their Western Wear, Leatherworks. When you take a look over here, they've got another sign. Looks like it was the Banner Brothers building. It was a clothing store operated by Victor and Marcus Banner in 1868. It was rebuilt after the 1875 fire, and it continued under the Banner's control until the late 1880s when E.J. Dwyer and Company continued the operations until the 1920s, and then Bill Marks opened the Crystal Bar in 1934, establishing the first tourist attraction in Virginia City. So just all kinds of history here, guys. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, what do you think, Donnie?
Yeah, it's cool. Come up later part of the summer months to actually come up because, well, if you love hot dogs, I guess you should come up during this month because you eat a lot of hot dogs. That's all served.
And a lot of pizza. A lot of pizza.
Hot dogs and pizza.
But I mean, the reason why we're saying that is, unfortunately, during the winter they get a lot of snow. I mean, you can see there's still all kinds of snow, and actually, since we've been here, a lot of it's melted off. So, looks like this was, I can't really make it out, but I do see 1897 on there. So, it's buildings from 1897 over there. Again, that's the Virginia City Mercantile. Again, guys, just lots and lots of tall doors. And lots of tall doors and windows.
They do sell your famous poop bags.
Take a closer look. Warning, parental advisory, explicit language. But there you see it.
Alright, let's take a break.
Alright guys, I think we're gonna take a food break, so we'll be back, folks.